Ghana, Oman goes to claim, say, Omo independent. I want to afford, you know. Because hey, Kevin, I will prove to you today. The British, the Queen, she knew she did not have full authority on the Volta region. She knew it because from the documentations, you know, they knew, say, the British did not have 100% control on the Volta region, but there was an agreement. Enti, see, at Ghana, Oman also made the Dekesia Pano, Togoland. I want to follow. They are supposed say, yeah, we are not being diabolic. Say we are not trying to destabilize our democracy. They are supposed to claim their independence. And it's all in British Parliament. This is all in the British Parliament. I can't be in trouble. What transpired? This is 1966 December. Now see, make sure some of the records in some kind of parliament, British Parliament, before the Queen, after 3 months, all issues a Ghana, I British free, you must say free. Now, read it, I read in the starting now. And I quote, Her Majesty's government do not consider that the partition of the Gold Coast is in the interest of the Gold Coast as a whole or of any of its component parts and cannot abandon their established policy which is directed towards the grant of independence to the Gold Coast as a whole. Almost say, Queen say, San Seminar Santamai Council, NLM Fonekano, or when say a almost selfish interest. It is not in the interest of Ghana. We're British Brunei, British Parliament. These are records. Intina Queen will say, na ya day na Santifo, any LM4, any Sa group Kitwano, they want their only interest. Abra, the holistic interest of Ghana, no, they don't care. I am not saying this. These are words of the Queen in British Parliament in 1956. 4 months, and 1957. 57, and independence. So this is 1956, December. January, 57. February, 57. March, 7th. And in independence. And you need to understand, say, the British Crown Parliament, they were shocked. They were like, Queen, no, these are the Queen's statement. That is why it is quoted. Or say, why should I, at this point, make you people as Antifon Kwa, NLM Kwa, a nation, and then the rest, the main friend, the Gold Coast. The Queen was like, these people are selfish. Now you are getting the drift. These are facts. These are facts. Oko British Parliament. They are there. Go there and read. Kevin Taylor, Udima Tama, and Kobe Bia, because I'm showing you the facts. Go and search for yourself. Go and read everything. And then you will understand why we are here. MPP for someone Tiasie. Ghana no, I was saying the man Nipakuobi. That is not how it's supposed to be. Ghana is supposed to be governed by all of us. And Nintina, a man for be Tuaba. They are not voting for the development of Ghana. So to be na sebio ebimu mo asantimimuno. Omo kasara mo Tuaba for asantimai mensia revenge against Ghana. Asantifodi be they have a personal issue with Ghana. It is not because they wanted to be independent. And a British force said that be that. Go to be a tamu kruma in the name of Ghana. A DBA in the name of Asantimai. So why at this crucial moment? Now, this is what the Queen said. Her Majesty's government are now proceeding with the preparation of the necessary constitutional instruments, having regard to the circumstances of the Gold Coast and the efforts which were made to reach agreement locally. The grant of independence to the Gold Coast is an act of goodwill which Her Majesty's government trusts will be received by the people of the Gold Coast in a spirit of responsibility which will command. So the Queen was like, no, my government, we are ready to hand Ghana, to give them their right, to let them be independent, not some part of Ghana. Ain't saying about careless and can nipa kwaki to be free LNM, a year or two for a party that is £700 a tea, and then nipa kwaki to be able free a Santaman Council, your book careless, and Ghana was going to be split. Say, and your Brunina on one yansem or who say Ghana needs to be Ghana as a whole, and a Gold Coaster, and can demeno say, and ka Krowe, and ka peace be tarim. Now, let me show you a few things where British parliament. I am not making it up. Go and read it for yourself. Remember, make things up. That is what you have to do. Into Uba, honorable members will be aware that the different parts of the country are independent, both politically and economically. Indeed, the North and the South are complementary to one another. To sever would be to cripple. Bronini said, "Omo who said Ghana no, krobia, ekura omu nyina sebi omudin sawoso, free North, South, East, especially the North and the South." Now see, say omu be twa Ghana mu no, not just a Ghana no sebi omudin abro. Or say to sever would be to cripple. Say omu twa Ghana ni bi ebe enu kura na omu bokru no bo. Omo bonase na so omo dwirega kuro no sebio omo ma ekuro no ayeden ayebubuani che say literally no person ka kire say nka omo twa Ghana ni bi omo twa santeman nko afri Ghana mu ebeye ni kuro a omo say Ghana broni adwirimu no o say ye twa baby kura ketua bi say we di omo nka Ghana ho na yama the other part independence na broni na adwirimu no wa say kuro ni nyina eninti the Queen, Her Majesty, said no. Now you are getting it. So na Asanteman Council, NLM no 24 na edi 7 ne offer £700 tea no any small group no they didn't want a whole independence. And then I translate here bedru your politics ma and the free more pare it we Ghana him say oh Asanteman kwan here other regions in here. You were 16 regions in Ghana. How can you just stand at one place as a politician and say Asanteman kwan here omo makano? But in the Ashanti region, you were different people from different regions joining the Ashanti region. Without the effort of other tribes in the Ashanti region cannot stand on its feet. It will collapse in a day. I don't hate Asante for. I am setting the record straight. Mema Ghana for who are the Kudientia MPP near the Omoyeno. They don't care. They have Asanteman 47 MPs. Development beyond Asanteman, they don't care. Because they feel say they are entitled. I was a Ghana, de Maumo. I was say you chat Matimo Hono and no one free by we're a British Parliament. In Toboko da Mombom Payama Queen now we because she loved the Gold Coast. She didn't love some part of the Gold Coast. Listen, Mokoda Mumbom the Queen who died. She loved the Gold Coast. She didn't love some part of the Gold Coast. If she was selfish and she didn't care more about the people who did not have that power down there, she would have said, I don't care. But she was looking at the holistic picture. She was looking at the ideology and the people who are willing to work together as a people, as one. So she was like, I am not going to cut any part of this country and make it independent. I am going to give the country to them. They should build it as a people. And you will see, so say, the partition of the country at this stage in its history, moreover, would not only inhibit further development and progress, but would mean a serious falling back in the standards of life which the country has done so much to achieve during the past 4 years. Inti the past few years, the Queen understood. Say anka matimo hono komu tie Asanteman Council ni NLM anka the development na ya choke bedu 1957 omo be handi over ya independence. They knew the country would have broken down again. The Queen knew. She had been visiting Ghana when she was young, 17, 18 years. She knew that the moment you take a piece out because of some people's selfish interest, you are basically going to collapse the nation. And no na I translate ya bedu MPP ne. So as much as the Queen wasn't the perfect human being, at least she had a good heart. I don't agree. Said the white people enslaved our people, took our gold, took our resources. I don't agree. And I always say it's despicable, and I'll not sit here and say Abrofo idea, but I can tell you for a fact, she had a good heart. She actually saw Ghanaians as one people. She didn't see them as different people because of their language. And that is the only thing. If this woman had been selfish and very, 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 very evil-minded, but today, it is still showing. NPP minister, DNA MPP, I was anti-memu, or say on Yashikra, MPP. That is where the whole thing is. So it is not about the development of Ghana. They think, say, they are entitled. And I say they think, some of them in the Ashanti region, they think, say, they are entitled. They ekroni omodia. Inti sebio, se party ni mwa ekra, ne ye pese ye tiyan hondada. Inti mubetuma se ekrono. That is the idea. And it's obitumi soreka say, me sum otumfo, you have the right. But at the end of the day, otumfo share the constitution of Ghana say. So sum otumfo, it is right. So sum eye domahenia, it is right. But at the end of the day, ohini bi Ghana bia worships the constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Nobody is higher than the constitution of Ghana. And we need to think holistic. We are supposed to stop thinking like children, kids who are always picky. Okay? In the parliament, there are a few things I want to read to you. You will understand where we are. Why we need to come together as a people. We should put aside that silly tribal nonsense. And then I say, Chrono. Now, this is British Parliament. These are the records. Now, already baby a red mark in one now. What's your Osla no bikano? And then Osla better TV so can say, yeah, Gia mine. And now Refi. Osla catch them say, yeah, Gia mine. And yeah, Asono can one kind of track cool. Asono can one kind of track cool. There was a reason. I see a Gia mine. Because they have always have that mentality. Say, Ghana ne yomudia. But yeah, mine. She was not just saying it. She believes in it because they are entitled. Now, already, baby, I read mark. What does it say? This is what it says. It says this. Okoto, all right, I hear you. Ochina, Okoto will tell Ghanaians about the contribution of Buzia. Ochina, 6:30 p.m. Ghana time. You can catch Ikoto on Loud Silence TV. Obeba Becham, the contribution of Buzia. Ebia unim. What Buzia? Ochina meet in Koto 6:30 Ghana time. Loud Silence TV. So Obeba Becham, the contribution of Buzia. Now you understand Ghana politics. Obaba Juju Machro. Don't mess in Koto. Obetuma follow on Facebook in Koto or in Koto 101 on YouTube. Free Mind will come in the morning to do more damage. This is why we study Ghana. Do not think so be time will be. We are letting you know the fact. Don't mess tomorrow. Ochina in Koto on Facebook. NKOTO. Obetshrow the contribution of Buzia in all this. Now you understand why we are here today. Now, already document where look at where they have marked it red. No? And let me read it from the top. For more than 30 years, Her Majesty's government have administered the trust formally mandated territory of British Togoland as an integral part of the Gold Coast, as it was entitled to do under the terms of the trusteeship agreement. I'm saying for more than 30 years, where British Parliament to Hansa Dame Kaichrono, British Brunine Casano, and Nitina Western Togoland for do some time on my charge. If you say, yeah, can Ghana, Oman also Omakasa Ghana, or some Tio Muyo Mukura, a Western Togoland for. Inti Kandapa in 2020, Esma, National Security Kuku, they deserve hearing. We need to hear people out. And I don't condone them separating themselves from Ghana. Never. But people deserve hearing. We need to hear them out. We need to hear, say, if they have a statement, if they have a case. And these are things we do to build a nation. Utie almost story now. This is the Queen's statement. For more than 30 years, Her Majesty's government have administered the trust formally mandated territories of British Togoland as an integral part of the Gold Coast, as it was entitled to do under the terms of the trusteeship agreement. So the British themselves recognized the Western Togoland and Wunafono as the integral part of Ghana. And they had Omunkwani, the only people the British signed an agreement with. That before the British can make Ghana a whole nation, they will need to sit with them and then make sure that the agreement, either say Ubia for failing the part and son a bit my Ghana at the Auna Foding in account. So if today somebody is from the Western Togoland and I say, yeah, was here tier one. It is all about dialogue. We need to let people understand. We need to sit. Because even when you go into the British a parliament document. It is clearly stated by the Queen. They had an agreement with Awunafono. Awunafono Kwan, the only people that the British could not take complete day over because they had to sit. Awunafono Mohamed Omusa Tokratasi. Now, when you go on and you read, I'll say 2 years ago, Her Majesty government informed the United Nations that after the attainment of independence by the Gold Coast, this arrangement will no longer be constitutionally possible. And the United Nations accordingly agreed last year that a plebiscite should be held to ascertain the view of the inhabitants on the future status of the trust territory. So the British went to UN to tell them, say, "Yeni Awunafo we wo a contract bi a sign." Sa contract yan hwe wi a ya sign any independence ma Ghana. Omo individual wan hwe a enka omo. Into sa de no ye solve sa problem no, because they can come back and tell you there is a contract. And that it clearly states, say, they basically were not under the British full control. These are documents, these are facts. It's for the Kandapa to send Ghanaians to go and kill their fellow Ghanaians because they are stating the obvious. When you go into the British Parliament, it is there. It is because I don't think people in the Volta region today want to be a country. They just want to be heard. They want people to understand that some people cannot sit in the south and boast. They even have more rights to say nobody has that 100% control over them. These are the facts. And it is not about somebody's wearing suit. These are record. These are on the record. British Parliament and now when you move ahead, it says this. And the United Nations accordingly agreed last year that a plebiscite should be held to ascertain the view of the inhabitants on the future status of the trust territory. Into UN for catch British for say monko ho na monni omonko tenase omo mo amna awuna memu no na mo so buntie omo de omo wo kan was ade we hu. Did they do it? Did they overlook it? Did they ignore the views of the inhabitants? Yes. These are the things. We should not suppress people because they want to be heard. We should not deliberately try and make it look like say nipe bi nya Ghana for and it if people for no awuna for nya Ghana for omo Ghana for omo no met must say Ghana's democracy if they want to, and the United Nations cannot fight them because the documents are there. So for these people to hold their tongue all these years and admit to say, even though these are clear violations of our rights, we still believe say we can work with Ghanaians. Now, we need to applaud them. We need to give them that respect because these people, they can at the end of the day destabilize our democracy. Yes. So we are not supposed to sit in Ghana and feel say nipe bi Jimmy. Nipe bi moi. Nipe bi. No, we are supposed to see or be a contribution to the development of this country. Now, who read the other paragraph? I'll say this plebiscite, which was held under United Nations auspices in May 1956, resulted in a clear majority vote in favor of the union of the territory with an independent Gold Coast. And in July of this year, the Trusteeship Council passed. So basically, there was an agreement. So nobody should have a problem with Awunafono. Because even Asante for 1% independence, because so now Asante for person it's in Ghana today, more case. But who are the people who are most one amona yatata more Ghana more? I want for no. Yembu mposo be nipa. JJ Ron so winnie 1992. Now go to a strategy be atia Awunafo free Ghana. Yes, he was the president. He could have made some people petition him. So Awuneni, ne mami Awuneni. They have been disrespected and come back to my presence. Oh, I don't know anything. These people brought a petition to Parliament that they are not part of Ghana. Then Albeka, but he did not agree to that. Even though he knew his people have grievances, he was like, "Let us still build." How do you come to power and you can what's smart soldier for Makoba on a photo because they want to be heard? Today you have jailed about 15 of them because they want to be heard. Now can the be do by Obicho Bano Boni Tributo Belde, a damn Quasia mine and watch it. And as we speak, some people have been jailed because Kandapa and MPP for say, they want to overthrow Kufuado. Jimmy. Now just as uncle from the jail illegally, no. A day will come. And the power to one of a bull Trimutos, papa. You have destroyed their lives, lives. Because of politics, stupidity, Jiminti, we have destroyed people's life in Kwasiade. Now, I'm reading a David Chiro. Mechamo history, no. It is almost an MP before Kasasa, MP before SR, deliberate. They don't regard Ghana's independence. As Santifoni Bido, they do not regard it. Results in a clear majority vote in favor of the nation union of the territory with an independent Gold Coast. And in July of this year, the Trusteeship Council passed a resolution noting that the will of the majority of the inhabitants was for union with an independent Gold Coast, and recommending, and I quote, that appropriate steps be taken in consultation with the administration authority of the termination of the trusteeship agreement for the territory to become effective upon the attainment of independence by the Gold Coast. So the idea was simple. Fine. Yenya will come together, even though we can say ye pay crew, but because of unity, yenya together. By yenya will for the person say yenya together krane ye be crew ba kwa. Our due respect and our due was a Ghana de mine or some de maomo. It is a record. This is the British Parliament. Yenya independence we be seen there. We are even telling them so omu Togo for Mahmoud Baumia Jimmy for ebe year in 2015 or say I want to free Togo the betwaba abroad no Baumia na Ghana ni. These are facts. I am not making this up. These are facts. Oh, Kevin Taylor, I have shown Bibia message to Bibia Behuno cooking kind in and who Ghana problem. Yeah, GM, always all kind of qua. They have it. Now, when you read the lower part, it says this. The recommendation was approved by the 4th Committee of the General Assembly on 5th December. And it is expected that it will be endorsed by the General Assembly during its present session and before 6th March 1957. So these documents were supposed to be done. These agreements were supposed to be reached before Kwame Nkrumah declaring Ghana as an independent country. Did they do it? No. So when the young people in Water Region, Western Togoland say, we want to be heard, have they done anything wrong? Today in Ghana, you were Ghana for 30,000. They don't give them the opportunity to vote. Does it give them the right to rise up and say they want to be independent? Yes. I am being honest with you here. Benjamin, Tiano Onko for omu timi nka we nkyerɛw omu nima de omu nim nyansa omu ni ghost team papa omu ni good production team me wi akyerɛw bebi akwakenkan no. Now let me show you this without wishing to go into more detail than I need. This is British Parliament. There are some points which I must draw the attention of the House. First, there is the name Ghana. First, there is the name Ghana. This has been conferred on the new country in accordance with local wishes. It was the name of an ancient kingdom in what is now French territory south of Sahara, which has acquired great historic significance in the Gold Coast. So that is where Ghana name was derived from. Now we go to the second paragraph. Next to call for special mention is the first proviso to clause 1. This explains that the bill will not apply, and I quote, in relations to Togoland and the United Kingdom trusteeship until Her Majesty so provides by order in council, which shall be made as soon as practicable after provision has been made for termination of the trusteeship agreement for that territory upon its union with an independent Gold Coast. So the British, after they basically came into Parliament to say the Ashanti the Traditional Council, Asanteman Council, the NLM, for Kalinina, they will not agree. Then they officially said Ghana Edia yene dia bro mo say ye pese ye frɛ ho no Ghana. Now it's a historical name a free Sahara ha yene ankasa oba echira or say was the name of an ancient kingdom in what is now French territory south of Sahara, which has acquired great historic significance in the Gold Coast. So we picked the name. It was a wish of the people for Gold Coast to be called Ghana. Now they made you understand to say they were still in negotiation with the Western Togoland people, even though they are granting Ghana as a whole, including the Volta region and those people as Gold Coast, now Ghana. They are still working the documentations out with the Western Togoland people. So technically, as we sit here, we don't have full control of the Aonafo. But they have lived, they have abided by the law, they have reasoned with us, they have come to accept that they cannot destroy this nation by always saying that we want to be independent. They have agreed that we are all one people. But have we shown that respect back? Ghana yomudia.